Let me check my battery. What about you free in a house of blue? Everybody's free. What about me? Right. Still sweating. Oh, just let me go and check something. Hello. Oh, it is. I thought it was cooler today, but it's not. Yeah, we're all still sweating away. Well, you know, when Q is not about, you just have to keep researching and looking at stuff. So, you know, dilly-dallying around on YouTube. And I noticed something. And I thought, who remembers? If you're not from the UK, then I don't think you remember. I'm 41, don't forget. So it was when I was younger. And when I went at my high school, when these people first came out, they came to our school to play a few songs, a pop group, a boy band. And the boy band's name was, if you're from the UK, you might know in America, but I don't think they made it big in America. I don't know, but they were called East 17. And yeah, I liked him. And the one I used to like, because I used to always like, because he is smaller guys. I used to date a lot of small guys. And he was called Brian Harvey. And they did some good songs. And that's just before they got quite well known. They came to our school to do a few little songs for, I don't know what year it was. Oh, I've not checked it out yet properly. So, but this interlocks with everything because Brian Harvey, he's got a YouTube channel, Brian Harvey, and he was waffling on about something on there, and I didn't get a lot of it. He was going on about someone, and he did mention John Wedger as well, whatever his name is. So I was like, Then I went on to, I think my dad showed me Eddie Is Okay, and he was talking about Brian Harvey, and he's going to do an interview with him, and it keeps saying my battery's low. Just let me go and get me other charger a minute. Wherever it is. Seem to have a charger that works better than the other. So, yeah, so sorry, I was talking about Brian Harvey. So, and he's going to do an interview with Brian Harvey on Wednesday. So I'll be looking out for that on Eddie Is Okay. But the thing I was looking at that interested me was, I went on a channel called Christine Hart. Never heard of her, but I was watching it because she was having an interview or a chat with Brian Harvey recently. And he was saying about like how he's not staying in his house anymore because he's felt like he's been hiding away or sort of held prisoner in his house sort of thing for 5 years because of this thing that he was going on about, which I didn't really get at first. I didn't understand what he was going on about. And it was something to do with phone hacking and this, that and the other. And in the past, they have said, you know, Brian Harvey was a druggie and he did this, you know, and he's a bit of a scally and he got Daniela Westbrook on drugs, you know, because with her drug addiction and all that. But then when you watch this video by Christine Hart, and Harvey's talking about some stuff, and he starts sort of understanding. He's going about this friend that died, and he was talking about this secret door and it's called Christine Hart, and the video is Brian Harvey reveals secret red rooms at Brown's nightclub in London. Something about a secret door. Oh, thanks. And he couldn't remember what this secret door thing was because he might have been drunk at the time or whatever. And he said, oh, I just remember. They kept going on about, well, the friend who died kept saying before he died, like, what did you see? What did you see? And he's going, I don't remember seeing anything. But he said the reason why it stayed in his mind is because this friend died. He was going on about a few weird things about he was an alien or something, you know, like David Icke thing or something or whatever. And he didn't get what he was going on about. So anyway, he must have, Daniela Westbrook got back in contact. They were talking and he said, oh, I don't remember. He kept going on about this secret door or something about a door, and what did you see? And he said, I didn't see anything. And she said, don't you remember there was a button, when you someone pressed this button, like a secret door opened? And I'm thinking, And they said they went down these corridors, and I think Brian was saying something about there was rooms off the side with beds in, and this, that, and the other. Said nobody was in there, no one was doing anything. He said, but she went to the toilet up there and said, don't come in. But it was known in Brown something about someone selling drugs in there, you know. I think it was Brian who got her onto drugs, and he said something about she might have been having drugs since she was 14, you know, reminds me of the grooming thing now. And he said, I didn't know her at that age, but she went there. But he said, you have to go and watch the video, something about some people were in there, and he thought, this isn't a young woman. Something about her knees, he kept saying. And he said, and he looked and he said it was a really, really young girl, maybe all dolled up or something, and a really, really young lad. He said, I just didn't get it. But it was a bit confusing, but nearer the end, you have to watch all of it. Nearer the end, the woman whose channel is it was talking about how she, you might know who she is, I don't, how she got into certain stuff. I think she said something about the like intelligence place, but she said something about she was brought up in an orphanage, and she said this orphanage was under the Jesuits, you know, Vatican thing. And she said it still is, but it's under a different name. I think she said London, and she said, this is where I started thinking, she said, I was under the Monarch programme. You know what that is? It's MK Ultra, where they shatter you, what do they say? They shatter your sort of personality little bits. And he said, what do you mean? Because poor Brian knows stuff, but he doesn't know a lot of stuff. And I tell you what, if anything ends up to him, if he ends up getting killed or anything, we're all going to know he's putting this stuff out. That might sound a bit, but it's not. It's a bit like, he knows because he said he's had his life threatened and he's got evidence. But she was saying, he said, what do you mean? What do they do? He said, well, they take vulnerable kids, obviously in an orphanage, you've got no parents. He said they sexually abuse them, they traumatise them. If you know how MK Ultra works, the way they pick away, I can't explain it, you need to watch that video. And that's how they get them to do, you know, certain things, and they get triggered by certain words or certain things. You know, it's like being brainwashed. And he said maybe that's why Daniela Westbrook came for you and wanted you to take to this nightclub in these rooms, but Brian didn't really know about it. And Brian was sort of saying as well, I think they left me alone in that business when he was in that group. He said, because he's a big mouth, you know, and he said, I'll just say it as it is, and I'd come out with something. He said, I think they knew to just not invite me to certain things because I'd just spill the beans. We know what happens when people spill the beans. John Harris was the one that died. Oh yeah, John Harris. Yeah, suicide. See, yeah, he said something about the free man. Yeah, he said something about the free man movement. See, I didn't get a lot of it. I was listening at the end about the kid thing because it's, you know, the paedophilia thing again, or to do with kids and stuff. Yeah, they split the personalities. So to me, watching that, and when I got right to the end of it, I was like, Brian knows a bit because his friend died and he was trying to put this stuff together. He doesn't know a lot of everything that's going on, that us that watch Q sort of, you know what's going on. And she was explaining about the monarch thing with the Vatican. And I just found that very interesting. And he's bringing all this out now. He said, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to bring it out. We need to take these people down because, you know, real people, you know, it's all connected everywhere. There's another guy that does it. He disappeared. That's what I mean. But if he comes out now and he's doing an interview with Eddie's okay, we're going to know if something happens to him. It's like Tommy, if something happens, it's because he's shutting up. Because all this stuff's coming out. They can't shut everybody up. But Brian, I don't know if Brian knows the extent of, like, I mean, have we heard about the ones who were testifying against the Clintons? They were going to testify against the Clintons, and what happened on, was it Saturday? The house was blown up, the smithereens, they're both dead. her and her husband, you're going to testify against the Clintons, you know, because all this thing going on with the Clinton server and all this, they're dead now. Right, so that's not, it's not one of them, is it? They were gonna testify against the Clintons, and the house blew up. Right, okay then. 9 dead so far. Who would have testified? Exactly. They're gonna testify, and there's 9 dead. Doesn't sound dodgy at all, does it? No, okay. And that's what I'm saying about over here, because all this stuff's global. You've got Tommy in prison. Ryan's just come out. I was just quite amazed talking about this thing, but I don't know if he knows the extent to, like, because we all know about celebrities and how you can get in the fame way and the things you have to do with sacrifices and this, that, and the other. Some are born into it, some are brought into it, and some are oblivious. He's a bit oblivious but knows a little bit. You can't beat a system that is set up to be won by those who control it. Exactly, but that control system's falling. I know that they know they're on the way out. That's why they're just trying to shut people down. But they're not going to be able to shut everyone down, because at the end of the day, we have the server. Q has a server. They have it there. It's got to be done in a certain way though. But I don't know. I was just amazed. But I shouldn't be amazed, because we know that people are going to start talking out about things, and people are going to start clicking onto things, and people are going to be like, Hillary Clinton's greatest hits. Yeah. What will her greatest hits be? Oh, and the book that Bill was reading on the plane, Crimson Lake, I googled that, and it's something about a detective that gets accused of something of abducting a young teenager. What's all that about? Why would you be reading a book like that? And I'd also like to say Harvey from the group, they had a song called House of Love. That song needs to be revived, because that song is a brilliant song about House of Love, you know. It's got God in it. It's got, you know, we're not bothered about, well, what was the song now? Not bothered about your colour, not bothered about your creed, in a house of love, everybody's free. If anyone remembers it. Everybody in a house of love. That really needs to be revived, because to me it's quite relevant for this time and age we're in. House of Love, everyone goes on about love, and it's about, you know, we're not bothered about your creed or colour or whatever. Unite, come together, because that's what we've got to do. But I was just saying to my dad before, because he's on here now, it just interested me, because there's a bit of a blab at the beginning, but if you watch the whole video, it's a bit like, oh yeah, and because she was talking about, you know, the MK Ultra thing over here in this country, you know, it's everywhere, the way they break you down, you know, and they do it from a young child. And then I've just gone over to Lionel Nation, and he was talking about Q and kids and different things, and he was talking about, you know, kids, it's like nature and nurture, which ones, and someone said they believe both, but nurture, you can nurture a child. Nature's good, and that's the way, but nurture, you might think, oh yeah, nurture a child, but it depends how you nurture that child. You can nurture that child well and bring it up, you know, with a lot of love and, you know, showing it right from wrong. But if you nurture, because that word nurture's a bit, if you nurture that child in hate, then it's going to grow up in hate. If you teach that child something from a very, very young age, that's why I say there's some religions and things out there that nurture their child, obviously from when it's born, to hate on races, to hate on other people's religions, to hate on people who aren't the same as them. If they're brought up from as soon as they're born, if they're brought up from when they're young with hate, that's how they're going to, that's what they're going to believe in. That's how they're going to believe. And if they're believing, you know, that it's only them that should be on the planet and they should hurt people and kill people, that's what that child is going to be brought up to think, because that's all that child has known. And then there's the other thing Lionel was saying about when kids are traumatised in certain ways, it can affect them in later life. Sometimes it doesn't always affect them at the beginning, but it starts seeping out. That's when you start seeing people getting depressed and having, you know, this, that and the other, and when people start doing crazy things as well. So there's a lot to do with that, like I was saying, what she was saying about MK Ultra, the way things are done to kids at an early age, the way they're broken down or abused, or it affects you, and it affects the way you'll bring your kids up, because we all know these weirdos, the ones of us that know what follow Q. I mean, you only need to look at the state of Hillary. that if you're brought into a family like that, the Illuminati, the elites, whatever you call it, and they do stuff to kids and this, that, and the other, and they do it to their own kids, they're not bothered because they see that as that's what you do. It's normal to them, and they'll do it to their kids. I'm too busy to be racist. I know, I'm absolutely sick to death of all this stuff on the internet going on about. I'm sorry if anyone's watching from their channels, but racism and white supremacy and black supremacy and the African thing and blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, oh God, can we all just unite or something and stop harping on about the same bloody thing constantly? But I know it's wound in with everything. You know, who's right, we're right, you're right. No, let's all just unite together. I'm sick to death of it. You know, like I said, I know there's certain stuff that went on with certain people, but everyone's trying to make out it was only one race did this or only one race did that. No, we've all done it down the line somewhere. But you shouldn't be taking it out on people today, just normal people, like, oh, you're white supremacist, so you should, oh, you're black supremacist. No, it's the elites of that culture or whatever that are doing. That's just, oh God, it gets on my nerves. It's like all that bloody mad stuff with that kid who got the drink chucked in his face for wearing a Make America Great Again hat on. I mean, he was a kid and you're a man, you big bully. And look what he was doing. He was a known bloody... He had a criminal record, didn't he, something? But just doing that to a young kid just because he's got a mega hat on, it's like pathetic. And some white guy got battered off some black guys just because he votes for Trump. It's just stupid. I watched Kevin's Corner. What was he talking about? Because he's brilliant at Kevin's Corner. I'm racist, too posh to act on lords and the gentry. Yeah. But it's like going back to Brian Harvey. Some people, you know, snobs will see him as, oh, he's only a scroll. That's what the word they use over there. Oh, he's only a, what do we say over here? A scally or whatever. Oh, he's only this. He was a druggie and that. When you actually look into it properly, they've made things up about people. They do this to bring people down, to make sure he's going to shut up, you know, and demoralise him and this, that and the other. A lot of people who they call like that is because they've got a mouth and they want to say something. And, you know, the true people, and not, like he said, yeah, sold us out. You know, he said on his interview, he said, he said, I would never have fame again. He said, I'm not bothered about money. He said, my other mates who are in the band, they've got money, but he said, they'll never be able to spend it without thinking about the conscience because they've probably done stuff. He said, I'm not bothered. He said, people who just have enough to get by are the real people, you know, that I've got something to say and they've got love in the heart. And they were saying about Hillary before, oh, when you see Hillary, you know, she has no passion behind, she has no, you know, she couldn't do things that Flotus is doing and all that with the kids. I said, no, because she hasn't got a soul, has she? She hasn't got a soul. How can she be... She don't want to do stuff like that. She can't do stuff like that. She's got no love in her soul at all. You only have to look at her to know that. She has not got no love in her soul. And it's like these MK Ultra, they have handlers. She's got a handler. We all know who her handler is. So she's had that monarchy thing done to her. But she's worse than Bill. But she's got no love in her soul. These people who have sold the soul to the devil, as if you want to call it, or they've been brought down, that they don't have no love in the soul, so they can't empathise or anything with anyone. But I don't know, I just feel a lot of respect for Brian, and I hope nothing happens to him. But we'll all know, you know what I mean? There's interviews going on, it's all over the net. Well, it's on YouTube, but yeah, I was just like, oh God, that makes a lot of sense with how you'll only know in the UK with Daniela Westbrook because you won't know who she is in America. Oh, yes, that's it. I know, I heard something about him yesterday and I was like, because we all know Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson's resigned, thank God for that, because someone said he was going to run for, and I thought, but not Boris Johnson. Because ages ago, there was a guy in Speaker's Corner, and in Speaker's Corner, if anyone watches like I do, they're always waffling on down there. It's all about the Quran and Christians, and they're all, at the minute, they're all at loggerheads with each other, you know, the religion thing, the religion wars, and, you know, going on about black supremacy, white supremacy, and all that, that's going on down there more than ever at the minute. Obviously, we know why, but that's all going on. But there was a guy, someone was having I think when they were doing a Tommy Robinson chat down there, when that kicked off a few months ago, and there was someone stood there with a card at the back saying Boris Johnson he was shouting something out about Boris Johnson and saying, well, we know about Boris Johnson, but he just looked like a nutter because he was just there on a bike. I don't know if anyone saw it. He was saying something about Boris Johnson, or something about a murderer or something. He was shouting out about Boris Johnson and everyone was just going, what's he going on about? But I thought, he obviously knows, but I'm so glad he's resigned. I think there's quite a few people who've resigned over here, someone was saying before. I haven't looked into it yet, I haven't had a chance, but yeah. Oh, there'll be a few resigning. I mean, Trump's just coming over soon. Do we really think this balloon is going to go ahead? The Trump balloon. And then on Lionel Nation, someone's been bringing Q up again. He's been defending Q because they're all like, oh, I don't think Q's real. And he's like, so what? If you don't think it's real, you don't think it's real. But at the end of the day, if you actually go and check Q out on the real channels, because you know people are trying to dismiss it, and read the Q drops on Qanon.pub, you might not get it. Boris Johnson, the biggest embarrassment to British people. There is a God. Yes, there is a God. What was I saying then? Oh yeah, Q. It doesn't matter if people think he's real or not, because if you actually go and research Q, instead of just going, oh, I don't, blah, 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 all Q's bringing to light is things that are happening. He's bringing truth out, and he's when you go and research it, you're like, oh my God. So how can Q be a bad thing, even if you don't believe in him? He's not sending you something, and he doesn't send you somewhere because you've got to research yourself and start researching stuff, and it doesn't match up to something. When you research what Q is talking about, it matches up to everything that's going on. So, you know, I don't really care who he is. I don't want whatever. I'm just like, he's like a researching. He's helping you to research. Failed government. They need to bring back the bill of. Didn't see that bit. I was having a discussion with my dad. I can never see chat quick enough. Oh, I'm glad Boris Johnson's resigned. Needs some more resigning from there. Khan needs to resign. He'll be out soon anyway. The rule of the Bill of Rights, they failed. Theresa May next. Yeah, Theresa May. Khan. Q is the leader of free speech. Exactly. Because that's the whole point. Everyone who tries to talk out about something gets doorknobbed, don't they? So, God bless Brian Harvey. He's trying to get something out, but I don't think he knows what he's bringing up. But he's bringing up the corruptness, really, in whatever they were trying to pin on Harvey at the time. But I'm looking forward to that interview on Wednesday with Eddie Is Okay. Moggy follows the Bill of Rights. Can't see that. But what's happening today? I can't remember. Trump's... Is it something to do with Trump and Supreme Court today? Is it something? I can't remember. Putting someone in, is it? I can't remember what he's doing today. What's he doing today? He's supposed to be doing something today, isn't he? Well, this is a good week because there's something going down tonight. There's obviously things going on behind the scenes, obviously, because that's why Q's quiet. Trump's coming over to the UK. Kind of reminds me of Anonymous. They expect us, quote, not saying it is, but shortly after we... Yeah. Well, they did say on one of the Q drops that if we knew who Q was, we'd probably laugh. So I don't know. It's like, who is Q? I don't know if I want to know who Q is. I want him to stay anonymous. People would, because like, if anything happens again, we want him to come back. I don't think we can... Is it dangerous to know who he is for him? Them, even. Trump is announcing Supreme Court name today. Yeah, that's it. Hi, Douglas. Yeah, where we go one, we go all. But and then obviously Trump's coming to England to see the Queen and to meet. Oh yeah, there is a civil war. Yeah, definitely. The war at the minute is with mainstream media as well. Getting truth out, and then we've got he's going talking to the EU again, isn't it? And then Putin. But there's a lot of walkaways. There's a lot of people leaving the Democrats and coming over because they're just thinking, what is going on here? What is going on? Like I said, that young lad getting a drink chucked in his face and his hat ripped off is pathetic by, an adult to a young child. Didn't a child get attacked or something? getting people out of cars. I even heard something pathetic like attack everyone with blonde hair because Trump's got blonde hair, so they must vote people with blonde hair must vote for Trump. I mean, how pathetic do you want to get? It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that hashtag walk away. Oh, and Hillary and Bill run a commercial flight. Does that mean they've got no money? Is the money running out on a commercial flight with his nice book, like I said before, Crimson Lake? Go and Google what that's about. Yeah, what else? I've not really looked much. I did read Neon Revolt about that. That was a good read actually, and it was a short read. Funny how this is all happening before. This is what I thought, you see, because we've got Tommy Robinson's appeal's been put to the 24th because it was supposed to be, I think, was it this week? And we've also got another Tommy Robinson march on Saturday. I think Trump's over on Thursday. It's the march on Saturday. He's got the EU whenever that is, and then he's got with Putin. So all these things are happening. People are resigning. Trump's coming over. Yeah, I think you're getting a bit scared. You know, I think there'll be a lot happening this week. I think it's going to be a good week. That we've got the the thing tonight with the naming of the Supreme Court thing that's going on tonight. What else was I going to say? Car's just gone past with a load of, what do you call it? St George's flags on, obviously to do with football. England's winning the football. Not that I'm into football, but there you go. Actually winning for once. But yeah, there's all these stories coming out, so this could force the Queen to stand down. I don't know what will happen with the Queen. I've said that before because, I don't know if, I just don't know what's going to happen with the royal family. But a lot of us know about the royal family and the dodgy things and all that, but then there's a lot of sleep. But I think he's going to say something to her that's going to make her do things, because all will bring stuff out. And things might come out, but I don't think all of the stuff will come out, even though we know. But that could be the weapon to say, if you don't do this, this and this for your country, this, and this is going to come out. Because don't forget, they've got the dirt on every country around the globe. So, that's why we're going to be out of the EU. Don't care what anyone says, we're going to be out. Yeah, that's what you think is what, yeah, we're going to be out. And even, I think someone was saying, my dad was saying something about the tariffs with, the taxes and that on, like, when we're buying stuff from America and stuff like that, will be better for us and things like that if they take them off or whatever it is. I'm not into all that, don't know what it is, but that'd get rid of the EU as well, and it'd be good for us for trading and stuff. But yeah, there's all these mad things going on. Q said they have it all. Yeah, Q said they have it all. They do have it all, but it's got to be done in a certain way. But I was just trying to say, it might not make sense with this Brian Harvey thing that I'm talking about. Well, that's up to you. Like I said, there's people, I don't think it were trolls, but there's people who say it and don't go and research it. But it doesn't matter if you don't believe in it or not, because when you go and research it, it's what's going on. So it's up to you. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It doesn't affect anything. The Brian Harvey thing is just because it's funny how people coming out of the woodwork now, even some people, like me and my dad have discussed it, like some people talking about some stuff on some channels, but they don't know. You can't fix stupid now. You can't fix stupid. You don't know. They don't know the extent to it. Like, the people are waking up without Q anyway. But if you know Q more, it's like this thing with the boys in Thailand in the tunnel thing. Even Lionel Nation said today something about that. He said, I don't know what it is, but it's a bit dodge. And I said, that's exactly what I said to my mum and my sister the other day. And they were having a go going, oh, why do you always look into things? Why do you always think it's dodgy? I said, because of what I know, something is not quite right there. I'm just waiting to see what happens. But apparently Elon Musk has made a little mini submarine and they're taking it over and they're going to try and get the kids out that way. But there's something, if you follow, if you know what I know, you lot who know from that channel, something a bit fishy about that. And I can't put my finger on it, but it's a bit like, the school didn't catch the weather that day. No, but there's something, I don't know. I might not be on 25. I'm just like a bit like, I don't know. Yeah, bye-bye, Boris Johnson. Bye-bye, Boris Johnson. What I think Trump should do, should round them all up, get them in a bigger rocket with Air Force and blast them all off to the dark side of the moon or something. But yeah, someone said there's been quite a few resignations. I didn't know about Boris. I just think that's brilliant. Hi, Dean. I've heard on Soapbox that the New Zealand Prime Minister, was it, may have been selling US secrets, and that is why he resigned. Oh, has he resigned as well? Well, yeah. Yeah. I don't know, it's just great. I've seen a video before my dad sent me. It was absolutely hilarious, and it was of who was it of? It was of Trump. And it was like some of the things he's done, and then it was like the Superman music. I don't know if anyone's seen it. I think it was on a tweet on Twitter. Oh my God, I just loved it. I was like, yes, the Queen will not stand down, she will die first. Well, we'll soon find out what'll happen there. If I was a PM, my first thing I would do is dump Tony Blair in the middle. Yeah, Tony Blair with a pig's head. But it's like I said the other day with the picture of Merkel, May, and the Prime Minister of Venezuela. Well, it's like I think he said before, the secrets of like I said before, Brian Harvey was talking about, just in case anyone wants to watch that and just go all the way through it till you get to the end, was Christine Hart, and it was called Hi All Action Sports Channel. It was, who did I say it was? It was Christine Hart, and it was, I don't know now. Oh yeah, Christine Hart, and it was Brian Harvey reveals secret red rooms, and he said everything was red in there. The lights were red, and we know what red is. You know, that symbology, whatever you call it. Oh, thank you. Brian Harvey reveals secret red rooms at Brown's London nightclub by Christine Hart, and it's like, and then you've got the MK Ultra thing and all that in it. So, you know, the symbols, the downfall will be the symbols, symbolism. Yeah, symbolism will be the downfall. He said it was red in there. He didn't really know what was going on in there, but yeah, secret rooms, red, kids. And she was going on about the Vatican, the Jesuits. I've actually called it right this time, the Jesuits. And that orphanage is under a different name, but it's still run by the same people, because that's how they get the kids. Jesuits, Vatican, Pope. When the Pope goes down as well, I'll be happy. When she gets locked up, Bill, mostly Hillary, Obama, Bush, Obama, I don't need to shut up about anything. And the Pope Francis, as we all know, he nearly got arrested the other day, but something happened there. We all know what's hiding behind the Vatican at the end of the day, so, you know. That's what she said. So if you want to go and have a go at someone, go and have a go at her, because she was in that orphanage and she knew what happened, because she was saying, he asked her, you know, how they do it, and she said how they do it. Sure, some people make you laugh, don't they? Yeah. That's why I love them pictures where you've got Obama with the Pope, whenever it was, if anyone's seen it, smiling. You've got the Bush with the Pope, smiling. You've got Hillary with the Pope, smiling. Trump with the Pope. Pope's got a face like a slapped ass. I just can't think why. Can't think why the Pope's got a face like a slapped ass. It's all right, trolls can come on, because the thing is with them, they think they know stuff and they just try and come on because they just want attention, but they actually don't know what's really going on in the world. And if they do, they fall that side. So they're probably either a Democrat, if they're from America, or they're just agreeing with what's happening with kids at the minute, you know, with all the nasty stuff that's happening with kids at the minute. So, you know, if you support that, something wrong with you. Because like I said, all this stuff, all the roads lead to paedophilia, and all the things that they're trying to bring into society at the minute is to normalise paedophilia and this, that and the other, blah, 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 blah. It's to normalise everything. And if you think it's normal, there's something wrong with you. Fact, something wrong with you. So, yeah, just got to keep your eyes out today. But like I said, Eddie is okay, he's doing that interview on Wednesday, I think he said, with Brian. And it doesn't look like he's got much on his channel, Brian, but when you go on videos, he has got stuff where he's gone into court and he was shouting something out about something. So it has confused me a little bit, but it's basically, we know it's about corruption and how people make other people, you know, stars, certain people, because we know what some of the stars are like, but how they, you know, like they did with Mel Gibson, make them out to be something they're not, like they're a drunk or they're a druggie or something, because they're trying to shut them up. If they don't suicide you, then they're going to go for your character and smash that to pieces, really. Well, what you on here for then? Because at the end of the day, this is what a lot of people are talking about, so you must be, you know, what you on the channel for. Don't really care. It's like I said, some people believe in Q, some people don't. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because guess what, guys? The truth's coming out. If you can't see what's going on in the EU at the minute, the Middle East, actually the globe, with people rising up and people coming out and people coming forward and people getting arrested and people getting resigned. And if you, troll there, want to go over to Gran Torino's channel and go and look at how many resignations around the world have happened in the past, I don't know how many months, worldwide, thousands and thousands, and then try and go and work out who these people are, Big Pharma and all this other stuff. Oh, people. Oh, it just makes you laugh. Some people come on people's channels, but they don't actually go and like research anything. Or they're like, this isn't real, but they don't research because they're probably either watching mainstream media, you know, they watch mainstream media, or they just don't research themselves. Even some people know about Q, they just wait for everyone else to do it. They don't actually go and research names that are given, certain things. The more you look into it, the more things you find. Go and watch Neon Revolt, that's a good read. Yeah, I read Neon Revolt this morning. No, you can't teach a tapeworm. Neon Revolt this morning. You can join in. I get this all the time. I only get a few now. I don't watch mainstream media. And go and read Neon Revolt. It's a good read. He did a little one this morning, because normally they're dead long, and it was going on about Alice in Wonderland and what, you know, signifies different things. That was just amazing. It was really good, and it was a short one as well, so it was easier, because you know he's had really long ones on there. I get my info from a lot of places, but where do you get your info from? Lots of places. And then once you start seeing your info, you start going on the internet and you start seeing people talking about stuff. You can't get your information from the papers and mainstream media, because they all lie. We all know they lie. Serial Brain, is that a channel? Because there's lots of different channels out there, and I know it's hard, you see. I'm not knocking trolls, whatever what you call people, because you can go on a channel, for instance, Q, there's lots of people doing Q drops, right? There's people doing Q drops and people debunking it, and people are getting it right. There's some people who aren't getting it right, but there's also some people out there, like Isaac Green, who was all for it and then wasn't. And then there's people poo-hooing it because they're trying to put people off. But if you actually get on the right channel about Q, get the Q drops, it's hard for someone to come in now and try and look at them Q drops and think, what the hell's that about? I'll read one of them, actually. I took a picture of, because I liked it, because they are quite, for some people, hard to debunk. But when you actually look at what they're saying and you give the information and you go and research yourself on your phone, Google it, looking at stuff and finding out what things are, foundations and, you know, where people work and this, that and the other, you find out a lot, and then it's like, oh my God, how they lie in mainstream media. So, let me see if probably won't come up on my phone now, but I did take a picture of something, because I was talking about cleaning the other day. You know, what everyone thinks is a conspiracy, not everything's a conspiracy. I was talking about cleaning stuff the other day, you know, making you ill, because they're going about vaccines and all that. It's like Lionel Nation. Go on Lionel Nation, he's good. He said today, you didn't hear of autism years ago. You didn't hear of nut allergies. You didn't hear of, like, loads of kids getting abducted and that. Even when I was young, you just run around in the forest all the time, play. You weren't scared about things like today. You know, kids are allergic to this and allergic to that. It's all the cleaning stuff you use and stuff. So I took a picture. I know, well, some people just want to come on to, they just, like, I don't know. Let me see where it is. I think I took a picture. Took a picture of the song. Or maybe I didn't. I thought, oh, I better took it on air. It was something about one of the Q drops. Basically, it was going on about, yeah, cannabis will sort. Well, funny enough, that's what Brian. If you heard the beginning of it, that's what Brian, John Doe's. Oh, I'll have to watch that. Oh no, Brian. What's he called? Brian Harvey was saying, because they said about him drugs, he said, no, I just used to smoke weed. He said, I never touched, cocaine or anything like that. But it was basically going through this Q drop. It was a big one. It said something about cancer in brackets, and then it said house cleaning products, kids on the floor, kids putting their hands in the mouth. I've said this before, I knew about this. You got chemical warfare in your house because, let me just go and get it. My mum's like went to Wales to see, and she's like, oh, I've got you this cleaning stuff. I've got you this cleaning stuff. I've got you this cleaning stuff. I'm like, right. I've got a mop that steams the floor with water, like a steamer. When you look at the actual ingredients, last time I looked at some ingredients, even on your sprays that you're spraying, your polishes, when you read it, because no one knows what them big long letters mean, and you find out what the big long words mean in a ingredient, it says it causes cancer, it can cause leukemia, it can cause this, it can cause that. You're spraying that, if you're a really avid cleaner, you're spraying that around your house, on your floor. You've got a young kid, baby on the floor, they're touching the floor, they're putting their hands in the mouth. That's what Q said. But that's obvious, because years ago, you've got to get dirty. Your kids are on the ground. Look, kids in Africa and places are on the ground. They're happy, they're on the ground, dirt. You used to make mud pies and all that, whatever. They don't have all these illnesses because you've got to build your immune system up. You can't build your immune system up if you're always constantly cleaning your frigging house, your doorknobs, cleaning everything. Wash your hands after the toilet all the time. Do this, do that. Clean, clean, clean. Oh, let's get all these things. When you're on the bus, you've got to have a hand steriliser in your handbag. Oh, keep washing your hands. So you're not building nothing up for immune system. Then you're having these vaccines as well. You're not building an immune system up. You're just killing yourself with chemicals, because we're surrounded by chemicals. Yes, you want your house to smell nice, but there's other natural ways. That's what I'm looking into, because my mum always goes, you still got loads of that left. I said, I'm not constantly cleaning with cleaning stuff. I might just do it now and again, but I don't want to be constantly cleaning. Like I said, she cleans my table, this really strong polished stuff, and it gets down your throat. But no one thinks about, like, oh, what do all these big long, what does that mean on there? And when you go and Google it, you'll find out what it can give you. Like I said, medicines, you don't read the big when you go to your pharmacy to get your medicine if you're ill, and you get the big thing inside, and you don't read what it can actually give you. It can give you actually the thing that you've got, heart attacks and stuff, but nobody reads that. We just chuck it in the bin. Oh, big red wave coming. There's so much different things, but all that, like they said, Hitler went underground. They've been getting us a different way. We all know this, who's on board with everything. And it's all, what's that thing when you exercise and they say lemons, or lemons. That thing that they say, like when you're working out, and it's like rest, repeat, what is it? Work, rest, repeat, sleep, or whatever the thing is. And what's the one someone was saying today about them? They just want you to sleep, consume, repeat. Keep staying asleep, as in keep you dumb. You're not awake to what's going on in the world. Keep consuming, because that's all they want you to do, consuming and getting yourself in debt. Just keep repeating the system. Keep repeating it. Great God. Great flow again, sweetie. Watch your back, especially with rising followers, Mox. Oh, I know. I only get a few, and some are all right. I've got a friendly one. Some people are asleep though. That's what it says in the thing. They like to keep you asleep. Ooh, are you? But I don't know, it's a mad world we live in, but it is that thing of symbolism. And when you're in a world where you don't know what them symbolisms stand for, or certain, that's how you say you're asleep. Yeah, that was it. Sleep, obey, consume. That's what they want you to do. You sleep, keeping you asleep. You're obeying, they're controlling you. And then you're consuming. It's about consumerism. That's why everyone's always moaning about. It's like that Black Friday thing. Who gives a toss about Black Friday? I think you're all mental. I'm sorry. You might have done it on air. Fair enough. Everyone's trying to get a deal, aren't they? But I've gone, everyone goes, it's Black Friday. But I'm like, so what? I've got a telly, thanks. I don't want to stand and get in a big fight with someone scrabbling over a telly because you've got it cheaper or whatever. I'm not really interested. It's just showing that but do you know what I mean? They just get on my nerves. It's just about consumerism and let's keep up with the Joneses next door. And that's like what Brian said in this video. He said, I don't want to be famous again, but it's false being famous. You don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. It's all ego. You think them people happy, like the kids of today, because that's what they're going for, let's face it, the next generation. That's why they're trying to do these things with games and certain things. It's all to keep them dumb and stupid. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. The next generation. And they're looking at famous people, and they're like, oh, they've got such a happy life. It's like when people are putting things on Instagram. There's lots of big Instagrammers out there who put pictures up and, they're making out they've got a dead happy life and this, that and the other. Behind the scenes, they're not like that at all. They're probably, depressed and everything, but you can't tell off a picture, can you? When someone's smiling and being all like, oh, look at me. Behind the scenes, you haven't got a clue what's going on. Oh, yeah, I'm used to insults. I only get a few people, but you know that if someone's insulting you, it's just because they're either triggered by something, they know it's true, or they're just not understanding what's going on, or they believe their side's true. But the thing is, as we know who follow Q and maybe don't follow Q, but you know what's going on, the truth's coming out. So these people, I don't mean they're irrelevant. I hope they wake up, are going to see it. They might not choose to want to see it, but it is going to come out, and then it's going to be like, well, maybe then people were making sense. But that's why I just don't understand people. It's just like, go to some other channel where they're talking about what your opinions are then. Most of us in here that come on chatting with me are all on the same wavelength, so that they're not going to change our mind. I said that to someone last time. You can say what you want. It's free speech, say what you want, but you're not going to change my mind of how I think, because I'm seeing things. Thank you. I'm seeing things. I'm coming across things. Like I said, if you're on YouTube and you're researching, you get your recommended by, you'll start noticing things and thinking, oh, this, that and the other. You'll start seeing things out in the street and everywhere, and it's like, well, you only take flack when you're over the target. Exactly. When truth starts coming in, that's when the trolls start coming in. But I did say to someone last time, I have a friendly troll as well, but because they hide all that. They hide how many people are watching. They can hide how many subscribers you got. You can bring you down like that. So, the algorithm, whatever they're called, and they don't want you trending so more people are looking at you. We know how that works as well. But at the end of the day, it's like I had a big, massive argument with my mum and my sister yesterday about it. And they can say what they want because they don't. I said, yeah, but you don't see what I see because, for one, my mum doesn't watch a lot of TV and she hasn't got the internet, so she knows nothing, literally. My sister watches mainstream media a bit. She doesn't watch the news though, but she doesn't go on YouTube trying to find out about stuff. So she knows little bits that I'm telling her, but she still doesn't know what I know. So anyone coming on here trying to change my mind, and like I said, if this all comes out in the end and it's all a load of baloney, I'll come on and say, right, I was wrong. But at the minute, in my head, I'm not wrong. There's too many of us all over the globe that know it's real. Research and you see it's real. So you can come on and say what you want. That's for you to say. Freedom of speech. But you're not going to change my mind because it's my channel. And I'll say what I want on my channel. If I was the other way, I'd be spouting out what I'd be spouting out. But I'm not. I'm talking about what I like to put out, and you are not going to change my mind. Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence. That's all I'll say, because I've seen a lot of evidence. We know we've all seen a lot of evidence. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff this week, like I was saying before. It's just Boris Johnson. Oh God, I'm so glad he's resigned. Boris Johnson. People might start realising something when Theresa May resigns or gets booted out or whatever happens with Theresa May. But I know I can't wait. It's like, ooh. I'm going to wear my Trump t-shirt on Thursday. So I've got my Trump t-shirt for when he comes over. I'm excited to see, actually, if they do manage to get these balloons up or not. If he actually, I know they're supposed to be going up, but if they actually get the balloon up. And if they do, I hope they manage to get the calm balloon up, because that'd be pretty funny as well. But it's like someone said, they're just like a bunch of 5-year-olds. Let's put a big balloon up of Trump because we're very scared. Got to put a big balloon up of Trump because, ooh, I think it's going to scare Mr. Trump away. He's going to come flying over on Air Force One and he's going to go, oh my God, the UK, all the UK hate me because look at the big scary balloon of me as a baby. I must fly back to America. I don't think so. I think he's going to laugh at it and think, is that all you can do? Oh my God. Bye. You know what I mean? I'm just like, what the hell? A big balloon of Trump as a baby. Do you think he's not had loads of stuff chucked at him? He's had loads of stupid remarks and abuse and stuff chucked at him. Do you think he's going to look at a blown up, however big it is, balloon of him in a nappy and be like, oh my God, it scared me. I've got to fly back to America because UK scared me away. I don't think so. If Air Force One has got a thing on it, I'd shoot it down. Like he's going to be scared of a balloon. I hope it gets popped anyway. I hope someone's got a catapult and pops it. Or an air rifle or something. It's just like he's going to be bothered about that. I prefer not to change someone's mind, let them figure it out. Yeah, well, I had that discussion with my sister and she knows bits. And the thing is, they'll come to the conclusion in the end, hopefully. I think it's just so frustrating for us that know when you're trying to red pill someone or get on the subject. It's so frustrating when people are just like, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's like, yes, it does matter. It's like the biggest thing in history. It's massive. Like, oh, how can you not be passionate about it? It's your kids and your kids of their kids of their kids. It's their kids' future. It's the next generations. How can you not be, as a parent? You don't even have to be a parent. You don't even have to be kids. You just want to have compassion and love and empathy for flipping humanity around the globe, the world, whatever, for everything. It's not just humans, animals, whatever. It's just who wants to really leave the planet knowing that the next generation are in the cack and nothing's changing as usual. And then you get people who go, well, you know, it's always been like that, so what's going to change? And it's like, I know it's always been like that for a very long time, probably from day dot, but at the end of the day, we've got a chance now, this time in history. That's why everyone's saying it's the most exciting time to be alive, whether you believe that or not. We are literally writing history, but exactly, we've got the chance to rewrite history. It's amazing, and you're not even awake to it, and that's why I get passionate, because I'm like, I've got kids, I want them to grow up where they've got freedom of speech and, you know, they can do things, and all this bollocks about, oh yeah, well in London, you know, so you can't, that's what you get for living in a city, that's what you get for living in like London in a city, you just get lots of violence. No, you don't. It's man-made. It's been put there, it's agenda. It shouldn't be like that. It wasn't like that years and years back. Yeah, you get people that do things now and again. Hiya. But it's not. No, it's not. That's not an excuse. That it's been rising. All them agendas have been put there, and gang things and that coming from certain stuff they watch on telly and the music they listen to, and oh, when it's trendy and it good, let's go around doing this in a gang, blah, blah. All this stuff is absolute baloney. That's not an excuse. Yeah, it's all right. You've just got to put up with it. No, we're not putting up with it. Kids are dying with different things, stabbings and different things, and Satanism and all this stuff, whether you believe it or not. We're not putting up with it anymore. It is scary, but, you know, to stand there and say, oh, that's what you get for living in a city. No, yeah, you do get people who are bad and certain things happen now and again, but we never had it like this till till we sort of knew what was going on and why this was all going on, and the speed that it goes up in from this year, what's happened in London. It wasn't like that before, Can, as much as it was since you've been in, taking police off the streets and that. No, I don't think so. Oh, and that's not just, let's face it, it's not just the UK, is it? So we all know what's going on around the world. Yeah, fear is overrated. It's not, it's like I've said, even Brian Harvey said on his video, you know, we shouldn't, in this day and age, we shouldn't be living in, yeah, there's always going to be the odd psychopath and weirdo and this, that and the other, but we shouldn't really be living it. Today we shouldn't be fighting over race. We shouldn't be fighting all over the same things we've been fighting over for years. Phone rang this morning in the Johnson household. Yo, Boris. Can't see it, Dad. I'm going to have to try and read it right. Phone rang this morning in the Johnson house. Yo, Boris, it's Donny. Remember the conversation we had? Don't leave it too late. I'm coming on Thursday. Trump. Yep. The Trump Meister. Get out. You know what I mean? I know it sounds stupid. People might go, yeah, but it's always been like that. But it's 2018. There should be more uniting than there is dividing. But that's what they want. They want to divide us because that's what separates us all. And then it keeps us fighting. I know there's certain people from certain places that don't care anyway. And they're in with that, you know, this group, elites that want to divide us because they don't care anyway. But basically, we should be uniting. It's like that song I said. Yep, where we go on, we go all. Yeah, it is an attack on Western civilization. Western civilization and Christianity, like the values, family, they're going for family, ripping them apart because that rips the soul apart, that rips the heart apart, that's why they've been doing it. Yeah, we all know we were awake what they're trying to do. And that's why I say it's good because people can see it now. It's like you watch certain things on telly. If you do watch telly, I don't watch telly. Sometimes I watch a few things, but I don't watch telly. And it's like, oh my God, I can see how they've been working it. You know, working it in there in the adverts, working it in there in schools, working it in there in certain films. It's all out there, but we don't see it because our brain doesn't lock into it. Like, only when you're awake do you start seeing things. I was watching a cartoon this morning with my little one thinking, I was really looking out for signs in the back of the cartoon and like, what's that? And you know, when you start really looking into things. But it's best to be a bit vigilant in it than not be vigilant, you know. But all this stuff, it's all to divide us. But in my eyes, we shouldn't still be fighting about things we were fighting about. Like I've always said, there's things that happened in the past and everyone goes, oh, it was the whites, or it was black, so it was this, it was that. No, we all did think, I didn't, you didn't, but, you know, back in the day, years back, you know, when, whatever, ancestors and that, yeah, back in the day, things happened all over the globe with whites and blacks, different people from all different cultures and races. They all did the wrong things to each other. They all did things to each other and different people. You know, and that I think it was Kevin's Corner the other day. I love Kevin for Kevin's Corner in America. I think he's because he takes the mick a bit, and I think he's black by the way, and he supports Trump. No, they didn't pay him. And he said something, I think it was him, he said something about, you know, back in the day, if we were all cavemen, and there was a caveman, and he saw a caveman over there and thought, ooh, look at that caveman over there, he's a bit darker than me. I think I'm going to go and bash him on the head because he's not the same as me. And then that caveman looked at that caveman over there and went, ooh, look at him over there, he's a bit lighter than me, better go and fight with him and bash him on the head. It's all just like, Jesus, we all bleed the same blood at the end of the day, you know. So what? Some of us are a bit lighter and some of us are a bit darker. And there's still people arguing about where did the first people come from and all that. And it's just like, oh, does it really matter at the minute? We just need to unite. I think maybe that'll all come out in the end. There's a lot of stuff that are going to come out in the end. Like we said, we've discussed before and I've said before, they said 95% of the population are going to be needing hospitalising when everything comes out. You know, it's not all going to just come out tomorrow. You know, we know a lot of it, but... You know, what does anyone think about the Thai thing at the minute anyway? You know, the kids that are trapped in the... I haven't really read much about it, but I'm still like Lionel Nation said, it's a bit like... Oh, and can I just say, I just thought this was funny. I go on NASA Live a lot, right? I'm not saying I'm a big flat earther or anything, but I just like to go on. And I shouted out the other day, can you see Q from space? And then I said, oh, it's a Q-universe. I've been blocked. And then they unblocked me and I went back on and said it again and I've been blocked again. So, and someone shouted free Tommy Robinson on there as well. So I've been blocked from NASA. But we all know about NASA as well. They were lying, you know. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So I've got blocked off NASA for shouting out, can you see Q? And it's a Quniverse. Yeah, and they blocked me. So I thought that was quite funny. I did hashtag QAnon on there and I said, can you see Q from space? And it's a Quniverse and they blocked me. So why are they bothered? Why are they bothered that I was shouting that out? But I'll tell you something about NASA Live. All I've ever seen is clouds. All I've ever seen is a quarter of the globe world, whatever you want to call it. And I don't really see much else. Japan has a satellite view from the moon. Yeah. But you never see, like, you don't really see much. And then there's like the, what's it called? I was going to say the ostrich. The astronaut's hand. And then sometimes he turns it around to his face. But to me, I'm not saying it's true or it's not true. It just looks like a studio. Just looks like, yeah, never any chemtrails. It's just cloud. You don't really see much. It's just cloud, you know. And everyone's going, wow. And I'm just sat there thinking, it's a bit boring, this. Not, you know. So that's why I shouted that out. And I've got blocked off NASA Live. So next time I get in, I'm going to shout, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Trump, Super Trump. And I'll get blocked again. But never mind. Because I love that picture where he's on the rocket, like, I just thought, oh, it's just brilliant. But yeah, so I basically was really just coming on to talk about the Brian Harvey video, even though you in America probably will not have a clue who he is. And it probably didn't make a bit of sense in some of his videos, but it's connecting to me because he's talking to that Christine and she was talking about this monarch programming, you know, splitting your personality and all that, you know, what they do, the elites, how they control people. Because the weirdest one I saw was, I said this the other day, was Beyonce sat at a basketball match when she was just rocking and she was just going, and Jay-Z was looking away. It looked like he looked and he was like, oh God, what's she doing? And then did anyone see that one where she was just going, She just had a dead, blatant, weird expression on her face and she was just rocking and looking up and it was a bit like, oh my God, you know. And all them ones where they've had celebrities and they're sat there and they're having a conversation and someone's just sat there going, and something's said and then they're like, oh yeah, and then they wake up, you know, it's that triggered thing. But I don't know, I just think it's an exciting week this week, lots of finding out. I'll just mention that channel again was Christine Hart, and it's Hart as in H-A-R-T. And what did I say the title was? Imagine NASA dropping a 20-ton block of ice onto the atmosphere. I couldn't. I think I got it upside down. Yeah, it was Christine Hart, and it was, you'll see it anyway. Brian Harvey reveals the secret red rooms at Brown's London nightclub. It was just interesting. More at the end. Oh, it'd cause a hurricane. Well, I think they've been causing things with them other things they've got, haven't they? But and what's going on in Haiti at the minute? I heard a snippet, something about Haiti, and was it travelling or something going on in Haiti? Something going on in Haiti, and then I'm keeping my eye on the. I need to go and research about it, and I'm keeping my eye on the Thai boys. Is it Thai boys in that, you know, where they're trying to get them out with the water and everything, fuel prices. Yeah, fuel prices. But yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see what happens this week, because those of you who are on queue, those of you who are not on queue but know stuff's going on, that's great. Those of you who are on queue, there's no drop so far that I know of, but we know normally when it goes quiet, there's big things happening behind the scenes. But I guess one of the biggest good things I've just found out of you lot today is Boris Johnson has resigned. So yes, I think there's more, but Boris Johnson, you know, I'll just tick you off there. I might come on tonight for a chat, because I'll probably have a look around and see see what I can do. But if I don't, I'm not going to say for definite, because it depends if little one goes to sleep, because it's still warm. Who can sleep in this weather? And it's hot everywhere. Maybe. But I'm sure you'll be seeing me soon anyway. And I'll see you soon. Bye.